When it comes to mind-altering agents such as alcohol or drugs, in the vast majority of cases humans are meant. But biologists know that animals also have their own fans of highs. And in their desire to experience it, they will stop at nothing. Gorillas. Gorillas have more than enough reasons to be depressed. This includes deforestation, poachers, and intracurricular competition. What is there to do in the face of such incessant stress without getting drunk? The mountain gorillas of Rwanda do just that. They managed to discover one of the local varieties of bamboo, whose sap contains alcohol. This source of fun is well known to the locals, and they even call it bamboo wine. What the gorillas call it is unknown, but the fact that they drink this alcoholic beverage with great pleasure has long been known. US photographer Andy Rouse happened to stumble upon the gorillas having such a drink, right in the jungle. It happened during his trip to Rwanda. At first, the photographer thought the gorillas had some health problems. But after a closer look, he quickly realized that the gorillas had become extremely sick. Andy used the opportunity to snap dozens of pictures that were posted on social networks. These were the first pictures of the gorillas drunk. Australian dogs enjoy licking toads. Australia has the largest number of venomous snakes. They can be found there almost under every rock. But the most surprising thing is that at the top of the food pyramid is not even such a celebrated exterminator of all living things as man. That king is the creepy-looking reed toad. Funny how it enjoys such immunity on the mainland, though some argue that Australia is an island after all, where everyone hunts everyone. But the Australian dogs turned out to be quite a handful, and began using the reed toads in the same way that humans use small doses of life-threatening substances for pleasure. The frogs contain very little of this poisonous substance, but enough to give the dogs enough pleasure by licking the toads over and over again. Under the influence of this substance, the dogs begin to perform such ridiculous actions as hopping about, staring at the sky in concentration, or running in circles for half an hour. The truth is, this pursuit of buzz can come back to haunt dogs in the same way that it does for humans with health problems. I must say that the Australian authorities took this into account, and in this country even opened rehabilitation centres for dogs licked by reed toads. Groundhogs are hooked on antifreeze. With the shortage of alcohol, some bipeds have mastered the art of drinking various technical fluids like brake fluid. Usually such members of the human mind are referred to as pigs, while their closest colleagues in the animal world are not pigs, but marmots. Car antifreeze is poisonous for many members of the animal world, but not for the marmots that inhabit California's national parks. Not only are these rodents not afraid of this poison, but they have grown to love it with great affection. Groundhogs even gather in groups of 10 to 15 animals to attack parked cars. Wanting to get to the antifreeze, marmots chew through various parts of the car, such as the brake hoses. Such incidents occur every week, and even more often. It even happened that marmots, wishing to get hold of antifreeze, made unscheduled trips under the hood of the car. As ridiculous as it sounds, for visitors to parks such as Sequoia National Park and Yosemite National Park, marmot attacks pose considerable problems. To mitigate the possible consequences, they even wrap their vehicles with wire netting or at least an impermeable thick top. As a result, cars turn into funny-looking constructions. And all for the sake of protecting the cars from long-toothed junkies. True, some sensible visitors simply put bowls filled with antifreeze next to the cars, so that the animals can get drunk and not attack the car. You could say that this is a kind of tribute that motorists pay to wildlife dwellers. Drunken squirrels. These animals are also among those who breathe uneasy about alcohol. And they have even mastered a primitive form of winemaking. To obtain alcohol, they seek out fruit that rots in the sun and drink its juice. Luckily, to get really stoned, they only need a small amount of fermented juice, which has been captured on camera more than once. In the United States, squirrels even have their own favorite holiday, on which they get especially drunk on a rampage. It's Halloween. The thing is, when it's over, people throw a lot of pumpkins in the trash, which can sit on the ground for quite a while and ferment. As a result, in warm weather, mid-November becomes the season of drunken squirrels. For example, in mid-July 2015, several people who worked at a British pub came to work in the morning and found a lot of beer spilled on the floor of the establishment. At first they thought the place had been raided by robbers, but later they saw the culprit. It was a drunken squirrel who could barely stand. The animal managed to open the tap of the beer tank and get as drunk as other squirrels could never dream of. Russian bears can't have just alcohol, they want jet fuel. When the Soviet Union ceased to exist, no one thought about the state of the environment. Eventually, in Kamchatka, some shrewd businessmen turned the Kronotsky Reserve into a storage facility where they collected jet fuel. But after a while, Russian scientists saw that the brown bears living there had learned how to open the barrels and enjoy it. They acted like regular toxicomaniacs, inhaling the fumes of the radioactive substance. The end of this session was about the same state that some of our fellow citizens are in after getting paid, only the bear replaces the fence, or the backyard with some ditch, in which they lie while their consciousness travels to other worlds. One photographer even devoted 7 months of his life to making pictures of drunken bears. He claimed that the bears did more than just sniff the tanks and zealously sniffed the ground beneath the helicopters, sniffing the fuel dripping from them. But after a while the reserve was cleared of the barrels and the bear shop was shut down. How the bears reacted to such destruction of the dealer's center remains unknown. So not only people can become addicted to intoxicants. Alas, the consequences of such addiction are the same for both humans and animals.